So yesterday I was walking down the street and I punched on with a white guy and I got arrested. So then the following day when I got out, I was walking down the street and I punched a black guy and I got arrested for impersonating a police officer.
That's a cracker. I like that. Impersonating a police officer.
Dude.
A fucking cracker of a start.
Hiya!
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We're the two Chameleons. This is your host for this evening, Matt, as always. And to my other side, that side is Gavin sitting next to me. Tonight, rather than going under a straight topic, we're actually going to sit down and just talk about what's been happening in the world. We've had quite a few events over this last couple of weeks, and I think we've got a few opinions on that we'd like to share. We'd like to start off, obviously, with the tragic loss of Warne. Last week, he was a hero of mine growing up, watching cricket, playing cricket of that era, and he brought to the game what can only be described as some of the best spin we've ever seen, and he was ultimately a master, and may he rest in peace. Gav, what did you want to fire off with today?
Well, he was just a king because he just lived the way he lived and didn't give a flying fuck what anyone thought. So, I mean, they went through all those scandals, sex scandals and sexting and all that shit, and
And he got Liz
just lived,
Hurley.
man. Exactly. And he just lived, man. Like, there's photos of him, lewd photos of him in threesomes and shit like that. I'm like, man, he didn't give a fuck. He was just living.
Packet of darts, a beer, and a meat pie at the
right,
cricket.
man. Punching darts and breaking hearts, man.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Warne.
And he was definitely one of the greatest cricketers ever.
Agreed. And I think even if you can beat him in wickets, it's not how many wickets Warne got, it's how he got them.
That and the games that he turned around when he got them, man. Like,
it's just a subtle thing, like watching the cricket, and you got Gilly sitting behind the wickets, and you just get this, oh, nice one, Shane, or bowling, Shane.
bowling Warne. Yeah, man.
That was the golden years of cricket, in my opinion.
He is like, you got Steve Irwin, you got Shane Warne, man. Like, those are the sort of people that Aussie larrikins that will be remembered for their character, man. Is that sort of person.
Absolutely.
Whilst Steve Irwin's probably a little bit more of a straighter arrow than Warne. Warnie's probably dancing the fine line of like a rock star. Like, it's rock star icon, man. Like,
and just like Warne, though, just like Irwin, what was I going to say? Just like Steve Irwin, taken too young, both of them.
100%.
But there's also a lot of other shit going on in the world as well at the moment. What's your standpoint on, I guess, Russia invading Ukraine?
Well, firstly, if you've told someone not to come to your front door aggressively with weapons and whatnot, and you've been telling them that for a long time, and then all of a sudden they show up at your front door aggressively with weapons and whatnot, then it's an act of defense. Whatever you do after that fact is an act of defense. I don't agree with war at all. But the fact that he has said this for a long time, and now he's acting on his word. If he didn't act on his word, he would appear weak. So,
and as an ex-KGB agent, you can't appear weak.
No, and that's the thing though. He's not weak. And they should have fucking known this before they did any of this. They've given him every fucking reason to do what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not a case of, like I said, war is never right, but you can't just let a country like America just walk all over you, because that's what they want to do. That's what they're trying to do. Look at how
So,
they kept the peace in Iraq and all the other United Arab Emirates countries. Like, they're very good at keeping peace after they've blown the fucking shit out of you. Like,
we're very good at losing to farmers too, Vietnam and now with the Taliban.
well,
The
that's
world's
what
most
happens.
strongest army and military force in the world, and a couple of farmers.
Yeah, well, that's the fucking thing, though, man. Like, I don't agree with war at all, but I certainly don't agree with the way that the Americans and NATO are handling shit at the moment.
Oh, 100%. And I found reading both sides of the argument was very interesting because NATO was formed just after World War II, yeah, just to build a conglomerate, I guess, of an alliance. What was it? What do they call it? The North Atlantic Treaty Organization or something like that.
Yeah.
And Russia, when it first formed in 1955, Russia asked to join NATO and got refused because the whole precipice behind NATO was a defense against Russia.
Yep.
And it's funny because it was spearheaded and ran from the US, who's not even close to Russia.
No.
But because the US and Russia, if they went head to head, it would be like the Battle of the Goliaths. US have gone, well, I think we can come out as a draw, or it's going to be very close to who wins. So I think US then formed NATO on that precipice.
100%.
And it's been like Russia have asked 4 times. The most recent time to join NATO was, I think, either Bill Clinton or who was after Clinton? George Bush. Putin asked to join NATO even after the USSR fell apart and disbanded. They asked again to join NATO and basically just got laughed at.
Yeah, well, see, and then when Trump was in power, they're banging on about Trump fucking, like, was conspiring with the Russians. It wasn't conspiring with the Russians at all. It was probably trying to stop this sort of shit from happening. Like, whether you think Trump was a good president or not, I don't believe this shit would be happening if Trump was still in power.
Oh, no, I don't think so either.
Biden is like a hat full of dog shit, man. Like, he's fucking useless, just like our prime minister, man. 2 fucking hats full of dog shit, man. I read that. I fucking read that ScoMo. I read that ScoMo just gave $105 million worth in money, like resources and attack missiles to Ukraine, while fucking Queensland is like Atlantis, man. The fucking place
and New South Wales.
underwater.
And New South Wales.
Yeah, and he's giving money instead of helping these people in Australia. Like, what happened to all that fucking bushfire money as well, man? Like, where's all this fucking money gone while we're half under the fucking ocean, man?
I actually watched a hearing on the bushfire money and why they haven't actually paid out a single dollar. In actual fact, they had something like maybe $300 billion or $3 billion or $30 billion, one of those sort of numbers, yeah. And they had it sitting in a pool. That has actually grown because of interest now by another $2 billion. So actually all it's done was made money. They've never handed anything out. Not one single cash out has gone to the bushfire relief from what, 4 years ago? 5 years ago now? 3 years ago. Ridiculous.
But then you got this fucking useless prime minister giving money to Ukraine. Like I said, it's sad what's happening in Ukraine, but it's also sad what's happening to the people in Australia that are losing their fucking homes to the flood and shit, man.
It's funny because I watched the news on the lead up to the Russia doing their training exercises with Belarus and all that sort of things, and all the Western media, Boris Johnson, old Grandpa Biden, and ScoMo were like, we as Aussies, we stand up to bullies.
They're gonna pump that motherfucking drug so he can speak on the camera. I'll give you.
It's shocking. It's shocking. Did you hear? There's actually a poop gate. Have you heard of poop gate?
No.
Where Biden shat himself when he was with the Pope. It's fucking gold. There's actually apparently a Secret Service, one of the guys that works with him says that Biden shits himself all the time. I shit you not, pun intended.
Oh god.
But like with the three of them, they're like, we categorically stand against bullies and stuff like this. Yeah, as soon as the war happens, they're like, we're not getting involved. We will do a sanction. Ukraine's like, Ukraine released all of their prisoners just to give them guns so they can go and fight. And they're like, we need help. And we're just sitting there going, yeah, we'll help. We will not buy Russian oil.
Yeah.
Thank you, because now diesel's at $2 a litre, but...
All they fucking did while they were turned around, while Russia had their back turned, NATO fucking stabbed them in the back, and then when Russia turned around, NATO had given the knife to fucking Ukraine, and Ukraine's standing there with this knife that fucking NATO had just stabbed Russia with, man. So, but I've read fucking things too, man. Nobody talks about the fact that there was 200 fucking Russian children that were bombed inside Ukraine, man. This is all they're doing is talking about the shit that Putin's fucking bombing, but there's a lot of places in Ukraine that actually are thankful for what Putin's doing as well. I've read a whole bunch of fucking articles on that as well.
From the Donbas region and all that sort of stuff.
There's heaps, man.
Yeah, and even Putin himself, he speaks about the genocide against the people and things like that. I obviously have never seen any evidence in relation to that, but you don't, like, the man's not fully crazy. He's crazy as like he's wired. Like exactly. I wouldn't go up and tip beer on him at a pub, put it that way. But
no, because that comes back to that whole fucking thing where he has to command his respect, man, and he has to keep that respect. He has to keep it by continue to command, man. So if you spilt your fucking beer on him at the pub and he let that shit slide, then the next dude's gonna be like, well, I can spill my beer on him. That's not how shit works in that country, man.
Yeah. Well, it's the same as like the Russian mafia and like the Italian mafia. You don't just go up and just go, I need a favor, and then dog out and repaying the favor.
No.
You know, it just doesn't work. They've got pride. They've got all these things on the line. You can't just run away from that.
I still remember seeing that fucking video where he went into like a factory that wasn't looking after its workers properly. And he made the fucking dude sit down and sign and pen all this shit. And he lent his pen to this fucking dude. And the dude almost didn't give his pen back. And he's like, I want my fucking pen.
Did you see the recent one when so Luhansk and the Donbas region, the two independent states in Ukraine? His like secret security advisor came out. And he's like, Putin's like, so give it to me straight. What do you think? And he's like, I neither hear. And he's like, no. Simple, plain English.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's like, I think I agree that we should. And he goes, no, simple English. Like, just put it, not English, simple Russian. Put it plainly.
Yeah. Put it plainly. Speak plainly.
It was incredible. The dude commands is like, I would shit myself just being one of his advisors.
Well, that fucking dude was like, I don't know what to say because I'm probably going to end up with cement fucking boots after this anyway. You can see.
Probably doesn't exist, this man, anymore.
Putin is not dumb, man. He's really fucking smart. You can tell.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. No doubts. It's fucking concerning, though. I'm glad, though, in Australia we banned conscription in 1973.
Well, sadly, I think they should bring it back.
Well, they can. It still sits in the military ledger as soon as martial law is declared. So if, for example, like there's a bombing in Darwin or something like that, there's a point where martial law is declared, then they can actually bring that under the martial, like under the military side of things, not under the governmental side of things. So conscription is still entirely possible, but at the moment,
for a lot of people.
At the moment, it's banned. It's illegal. Well, it's against the law. But either which way, if World War III, all it needs to do is have one of the EU or NATO people join. Because, like, I see there's Canadians heading over. There's UK guys heading over there, and just civilians just going to go and say, "Yeah, I'm going to join Ukraine." And
Really?
yeah. There's literally half. There's a civilian force. As soon as they signed over the civilian force, people from Poland, from UK, from
Yeah, but are they Ukraine descendants, or are these
no,
just fucking
no,
whack jobs, man?
no, just people that like anyone. You could go
the
over there.
same sort of fucking whack jobs that join the Taliban, man.
You don't need a visa to enter Ukraine at the moment. If you want to go to Ukraine and you want to fight, all you do is go to Ukraine, walk in, sign up. They'll give you a gun and kits, and off you go against the Russians.
Here is your gun. Here is your rations.
Yeah. It
you
is
have
literally
30 minutes to pick up your cube.
Your cube has been disposed.
You have 10 minutes to move your car. You have 5 minutes. Your car has been crushed into a cube. You have 10 minutes to move your cube.
But that's what I mean. Like he was this because you know the president prime minister. I don't know of Ukraine. Do you know what his background is?
Probably Russian.
No, he was a comedian.
Oh shit! It's not very funny at the moment, is it?
I was gonna say, stand up and fucking tell me a joke now.
Yeah.
But like, releasing people like he needed some hardcore killers, is what he said. So he released the prisoners and said he'll review. Oh, he said he's going to put them directly on the front line though, but he'll review their like any of them that survive. We'll get a pardon. We'll get a pardon.
Here's a scenario for you. Let's take all the fucking most mental people we have in Ukraine, give them assault rifles and body armor, and we'll put them on the front line. They don't give a fuck, man. They're not going back to jail. They're just going to shoot anything.
And I think that's what happened, because there was this car the other day that was traveling along the bridge full of reporters, British reporters in Ukraine, and it just got shot the shit up, and they called it a Russian death squad.
Well, that's the next thing.
It's probably not a Russian death squad. It's
No.
probably those Ukrainian prisoners just out there just fucking shooting shit for fun.
Here comes the next thing. It doesn't even need to be true anymore, man. They just have to say something first, man. That's what the media wants to do. They don't give a fuck, man. They just want to say it first. I was fucking watching something the other day on YouTube, and then this ad come up, and it's like this country fucking media outlet is India Media something, and it's like they are like glorifying this fucking shit. They're like, we bring the war to you from the front line. We have no fear. And it's like, no fear. And it's like, we don't care. And it's like, who the fuck are these people? And they're like standing, like the guns are fucking ringing out next to the fucking camera and shit. And it's like, you motherfuckers are just fucking like showing people bodying each other, not the reasons why we're at war. They're just like, it's just like a TV show of people killing each other.
That might be the same one that I watched the other day, because they had a 24-hour live stream going.
This is what it was, yeah.
Yeah, and I went in there, and he was talking to like this professor and stuff like that, and he actually got him mixed up, and he had a full-blown argument with this guy. And he's like, "Why are you so angry? Why are you so angry?" And he's like, "Dude, I'm Ukrainian. My whole fucking country's at war. I'm allowed to be angry." And he was talking to the wrong person. The person he was directing the questions to was the second guy on the screen. He's like, "Dr. Adams, calm down." He goes, "Excuse me, I haven't said a word yet." It's like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Dr. Adams." It was fucking hilarious.
I fucking watched this and I was like, this is fucked, man. Like, all this fucking media wants to do is so people click on their shit. They don't give a fuck, man. They're just broadcasting these people maiming each other. Not why. Not the lead up to it. Not what happened fucking in 1990 or 1991 until now.
This is what I don't agree with. They call this an unprovoked, they call it Putin's war, an unprovoked act of aggression.
It's not, man. There
was provocation. There was reasons for it. He did warn you for months leading up to this.
Months prior to the years, man. Like,
well, they've been talking about it since the 50s, but when the USSR broke up, they said, "Look, fine, we're cool. Don't come east. Don't come east with your military. We don't want it." And what they did. It's as simple as
they've slowly been doing it, man.
I just think, like, if another country is or decides to ball up, to man up and jump into this war, it's going to be World War III.
Do you
World
think
War III
America
is going to
would
be a
like it?
nuclear war.
Would America like it if North Korea had a fucking base in Mexico?
No, but that's what I mean. That was the whole standpoint behind the Cuban Missile Crisis in the 70s, because Russia
But this isn't
apparently
the
sent a
70s anymore, man. This is 2022, man. So imagine if North Korea had a fucking missile silo
put an ICBM
in
there.
Mexico.
Mm.
Yeah. That's not like someone's putting up a fucking Taco Bell or something. They're putting a fucking missile silo.
And that's what I mean. Like,
there.
the Americans, it's, for me, it's
Sorry,
just
it's who makes them the fucking who stipulates who's right. Like like
the
I said,
shadow government.
I don't agree with war at all. But who makes them the heroes, the saviors? They fucking make themselves the saviors, man. We're here to
Yeah,
save
and
you.
all the media comes like, you know, it's funny because, like, they talk about the war in Ukraine against the East versus the West, but it's not the East versus the West. What
No.
part of this? It depends where you're looking at this from. United States is West.
Yeah.
It should be east of Russia. It's probably closer to the eastern border of Russia than it is the western.
Now you're splitting hairs, man. All I know is, you know what I'm more concerned about if these motherfuckers all just start bombing the shit out of each other? What the other little places, well, not little, but the other places like China and fucking North Korea and all those places are going to do. Because these other people will be kicking off and they'll be like, now's our turn and our chance to go and fuck with those people. Because
And China and Taiwan.
that's when that sort of shit kicks off. Because they'll be like, well, they're too busy over there. Let's go over here and do
I think it was
something.
about 2.5 weeks ago that China sent over 39 planes over the top of Taiwan as an act of military exercises, but they said it was the largest aggression out of China for years.
It's just a fireworks display. Hey guys, we're just going to fly over here.
Yeah, well, China have always recognized Taiwan as part of their country, whereas Taiwan are an individual country.
But this is what I mean.
So that's going to be another interesting one. If the war does kick off further, then I think that's going to be your next move, because China didn't actually, when the UN Council met together, there was 5 that agreed with Putin, and they were like Syria, Iran, obviously North Korea, but China was neutral. China didn't agree nor disagree.
hang on a second, this just went through my head. I feel like we need to have a reality show shooting with Putin, and he just shoots fucking clay pigeons all day. But go on, continue.
No. All you need of Putin is that glorious horse. You know how he's riding the horse with no top
It's
on?
majestic. It's very majestic.
Very majestic.
If that
Have you seen his house? Have you seen his house?
If that photo or portrait is not above his fireplace in his grand living room,
I should be with a bear, just like bare head mat rug underneath in front of the fireplace, and him just laying there eating an apple. Him just laying there eating an apple.
Fucking oath.
With a shot of vodka. But have you seen his house?
Nah.
So his house is the most expensive house in the world.
Hang on a second. When the fuck did you go there, and why didn't I get invited?
Just what is it? Shooting with Putin. That was all.
Shooting with Putin, man.
So he's got this cast iron gates at the front of his house, yeah, and he's got a 24-carat gold eagle with its wings spread, like, you know, the regal, like the eagle from like the USSR and how they had it on the old banners and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got that as his front gate, as a solid statue of gold on his front gate. And then he's got all these Roman, like, old pillars going through his house, all with the eagles going through it. His house is valued at $1.2 billion. Billion.
Yeah, but
he's got his own ice hockey rink underneath, like, this fucking mound of grass. He's got his own church. He's got staff fucking quarters. He's got, like, it's huge. You should have a look at it. Have a look at it. Jump on YouTube and go, like, house tour with Putin. MTV Cribs dropped by and just wanted to have a fucking shoot around.
Bizarre.
It's even got a church. It's even got a
What's
church.
that, big baby? What's
They
that?
guarantee you underneath that church is like a fucking, like a vault. And it's just got like all of the whole Nazi fucking artwork and stuff like that got lost during World War II. Didn't get lost. Putin just fucking derailed the train and took it all.
Not fucking Putin. A lot of art collectors would have arms dealers would have all that shit.
Oh, 100%. Hanging up in their house like fucking,
Yep.
oh yeah, that's just my $200 million fucking piece that doesn't exist anymore.
Priceless piece of art.
But yeah, I think the world's going to go to shit very soon. I'm one of two minds in relation to how I feel about it. I like what we said back in episode 1 that has been now removed from YouTube. So back in episode 1 where we said, it's probably good for the world a little bit. So I think on that side of things, it's got its benefits, but on its cons, if it turns into a nuclear war, I don't think there's going to be any winners. It's just going to be fucking... It'll be good. The winner will be the Earth. Eventually, after... Oh, did you see that they had artillery fire and all of that on one of their nuclear power plants? And it caught fire and there was a fire raging at this nuclear... And they were fearing that it was going to be Chernobyl, like, times 10.
Yeah, 50 times worse.
What happened to that?
I
didn't hear a bang. Maybe that's what caused the earthquake the other day.
Well, fucking my friend messaged me and she's like, "Oh, did you feel the earthquake?" I was like, "Nah, I wouldn't worry about it. It's probably just a fucking nuke anyway." But yeah, that fucking thing. They're saying 50 times worse than Chernobyl, and the last I heard of it, he was asking for a ceasefire there, man. But
yeah, but they didn't. They did a ceasefire. They just wanted to get that's the thing. They wanted to get the fire trucks in. Every time they try to push the fire trucks in, they say the Russians, but it's probably the Ukrainian prisoners are shooting at the fire truck going, I just want to see this thing go bang.
Who knows, man? Like, there's been plenty of fucking times where Americans have dropped people into a fucking situation dressed as one side to cause more shit, man. Like, that's a fucking proven thing.
Mm.
If you want to fucking cause more problems for one side, you drop in a whole bunch of people dressed as the enemy and you fuck them up, man.
But they've got this.
I've read all sorts of fucking books when we were in fucking high school, man.
Yeah.
Even in primary school. They would talk about a fucking like a special operations fucking unit that was dressed as like a shitty little fucking army, man. Like, they had the uniform of an army that shouldn't be able to move like they were, but these people were like fucking ninjas, man. Like, and they do that shit.
Running with no sound on the top of rooftops, just dropping in with a fucking AK under. Go.
This is like
Jason Bourne sort of shit.
That's right, man. The whole fucking MI6 shit, that stuff's real. People fucking
100% is real. Fucking CIA, NSA, MI6, fucking even ASIO probably have these sort of people.
But that's what I mean, man. They will drop people in to cause more shit.
It's good though. It's good. It's good. Keeps us busy. Keeps us active. Keeps us on our toes.
Well, like I said, man, the whole cold situation, like you said, good for the planet. This, if it kicks off and we go into a fucking massive nuclear fallout, the Earth will suffer for a long time, but it will eventually get better again. And if the human race is totally wiped off the planet, maybe in 500 years' time, the planet will be perfect again, pristine.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. If you've seen the documentary where they removed all the human beings and it took about that, because obviously nuclear fallout was a big thing because America, all through Europe, all have nuclear power stations and it basically fucked the Earth when humans did pass, because it only took, I think, a day or two for no one to monitor the cooling and the heating of it.
And then they fissure and shit, yeah, man.
Yeah, so basically when that happened and then nuclear meltdown and obviously that just went around the globe, radiation and all that, destroyed shitloads and shitloads and shitloads, but it didn't take long. I think by about 120 years afterwards, the world was actually thriving without humans.
Yeah. Well, that video. Remember that video you showed me with all the fucking nuclear testing?
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck, man, that makes me fucking sick, man. You have to put the link in the
I'll put
description to that,
the
dude.
the link will be in the description below, guys.
Fuck,
That's for
man.
YouTube. For Spotify, unfortunately, what you have to do is go onto the timeline of nuclear explosions. So there's an actual day by day timeline since 1940 something when they dropped their first, but even before they dropped at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the few test sites before that, and then from there until the very last one. I think it went to 2008.
But
What was
it's
it? It was like 4,000 or something nukes dropped.
4,000 and something nukes tested, but it's like there's a chime every time they drop. It's like, dude, and then it'll go for like a couple seconds without anything, and then the longer we push along, get to like 1980, it's like, doot 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 doot, and as you look
It
at
was
it
going
around
nuts.
America and Australia, it'll show which country's testing it and that. And Americans were just going fucking mental with this shit. Doot, 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 doot,
Yeah, the
everywhere.
ones in Australia were in our own backyard. They were
Right.
out off
And,
of
and a lot of them were
Petey Way.
American too.
Yeah, I think the British did the ones off of Perth,
Yeah.
and I think the Americans maybe did the ones in SA.
And you look at that shit, like how that would be affecting the fucking planet, man.
Oh, 100%.
We don't deserve this fucking planet, man.
But then, like, the biggest one ever dropped by an American was 15 megaton.
I was gonna say something, decided not to.
Do it, say it.
Nah, not that one.
And then the SAR
The SAR
was
Mhm.
50.
Yeah.
It's the largest ever exploded nuclear weapon.
And that is potentially what old mate would drop if people keep fucking pissing him off.
210 kilometers high, the mushroom cloud, I believe it was.
Hmm.
Or was it
Think about-
2.1?
Think
Either
about
which
the
way, it was
fallout.
fucking huge.
Think about the fallout from that, man. Dust everywhere. No
Fallout.
sun.
It literally
no
be Fallout
plants.
the game. You get, what was that little character that you used to get in Fallout?
What's a
Pip-Boy.
Goes on
Pip-Boy.
your arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Get a little Pip-Boy, get out of your little hermetic bunker, and out you go, and
Man, I don't think it's going to be as chirpy as do. I think it will be really fucking bad, man.
Yeah. I know of, well, I think in Adelaide, South Australia, I think we're okay.
I think we'll be fine here.
Because
But-
we're like the lowest south. It's like along the lines of Victoria and New Zealand. I think all
But
of
what
those will be
happens-
okay. Everything up from there in the world, fucked.
What then happens to the places that are okay?
Everyone tries to come here.
That's what happens.
We just don't tell them it's okay.
And then what happens when everyone tries to come here? The people who were here start losing their shit, go crazy. Like, people take your shit.
I'm just thinking
It's-
zombie
it's
apocalypse.
It's never a good thing. I would much prefer the zombies than nuclear fallout, man. I would.
100%.
If I had to fucking die with something going wrong in the planet, and I had to choose, it would be zombies.
I think with zombies, though, it's an unwinnable solution. Like, it's an unwinnable situation.
That's why I'd pick it.
Oh, so no matter what, everyone's fucked.
That's right.
Like the I Am Legend sort of shit. Just you, Will Smith, walking down the street, talking
Me
to
and
his dog.
Slim. Me and Slim.
Yeah, talking to his dog.
But yeah,
You hear it too,
man.
boy? You hear it too?
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Just quickly, just change the subject. Fucking Gumtree. Gumtree gives me the
Do you know what
shit.
really grinds my gears? Go for
Oh,
it.
this really grinds my fucking gears. If someone's selling something and they put in the ad, like, all right, let's just theoretically say someone's selling a Toyota Hilux and they put in the ad that it's got a noisy gearbox, don't message them and say, what noises does the gearbox make?
How should I
And
put this in a message? Tick, 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 tick.
just like whenever you're looking to buy something off Gumtree, perhaps the
Go and
best
see
thing
it.
you can do is go and view it. Okay? This is just a little piece of advice for people who shop on Gumtree.
Agreed.
That's all I've got to say about that.
Agreed.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Чики-брики, пальчик выкинь.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking to get any concrete work done, slabs, driveways, whatever it might be, hit up my mate JM Concrete. His name's Josh. He's got a Facebook page there. Plenty of photos of work he's done, exposed aggregate, stairs, all sorts of different things. Does awesome work. Jump on Facebook, look him up, JM Concrete. Hit him up there, and yeah, look him up for your concrete.
Let's go, JM.
Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Kapiris from St. Bernard's Fruit and Veg Market is having a bit of problems with a prank call. He's offering a reward. If you jump on his Facebook page, you can have a look at his post in regards to it, but we're just going to play you the prank call.
St. Bernard's Fruit and Veg, Johnny speaking.
Fuck you.
Fuck
Hey?
you.
Fuck up.
Who is this?
Who is this?
The name's boyfriend, cunt.
Oh man, seriously, dude, do you have to come and fucking prank, man? I'm at the office. It's fucking 9:49 p.m. at night, doing fucking paperwork and wages, and you're fucking ringing the shop pranking me. Like, fucking, are you serious?
No, and you're sitting behind your desktop. Fuck all, bro.
Nah, come on, bro. Fucking
Hardly working yourself.
say that again.
Are you working hard or hardly working?
Man, what state are you in, dude?
Bro, Adelaide.
You're fucking full of shit. I'm at the shop now, 157 St. Bernard Road. At the shop now. Come to the shop now. Come to the shop by yourself.
Yeah, and I'll fucking chop you in half, cunt.
Yeah, come. Please do so.
Bro, fuck, you know what? Come to Audi, cunt. I'm behind the fucking desk at Audi.
Oh, are you an Audi manager, are you? Bro, you can't even string two fucking words together, you silly cunt.
Fucking gronky dog.
Hey, you can't even string two... Mate, you couldn't box yourself out of a wet paper bag, you stupid fuck. What's wrong with you, man?
Hey, I'll put a paper bag over your wife.
Oh, God, yeah, okay. Oh, you're a fucking... Yeah, you're such a tough...
He's
cunt. Come to the
unhinged,
shop now.
man.
157. I'm here. And you know what, bro? I'm here all alone.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, go on. Ella, come to the shop.
There's prank calling and then there's just being a complete fuckwit.
Yeah, bro, fucking, bro, your own mum wouldn't even fucking root you, you sick fucking...
Your own mum wouldn't
you
root
sound
you.
like you're a little bit Kiwi, mate. Is your mum, man, is your mum a sheep by any chance?
Is your mum a sheep?
Fuck them, process them, send it over to you.
Yeah, you're dopey fuck you are. You're a silly fucking dopey. Hey, flog.
Fuck.
Hey, flog, 157 St. Bernard Road. Come down now. You fucking stupid flog, fuck. Triple F. Fuck, flog, fuck me. That was a bit of a tongue twister. Fuckhead.
Fuck you. Fuckery. How much you charge an hour for your wife, Johnny?
You couldn't afford her, you stupid fucks. You couldn't afford her there. You won't even be able to afford the food she eats there for lunch, and she eats fuck all, because you cunts have got nothing. You're nobodies. You upset me, you know. Anyway, I'm posting this video now. Watch out for it, dick fucks.
Emotional damage.
another thing that we can cover as well is what the news has been doing locally. Everything's all about the floods in Ukraine. That COVID's now no longer on the news at all. And it's funny because now we've actually reduced. South Australia is still fucking a nanny state. We can talk about that because, you know, New South Wales, Victoria, and even Queensland have removed the masks. The only thing that South Australia have actually removed is the mandates on vaccinated for the police.
Yeah.
So that's something else we can bring in.
That's good, man. Because surely it's not going to be long before they fucking just fuck it off for everyone.
Did you see what the conditions are for the police to actually work unvaccinated? They still have to take a rat test every day and they have to be masked up the entire time.
Yeah, okay.
That's fucking pointless because, like, there is no difference between vaccinated and unvaccinated on catching COVID. If you got COVID, you don't come to work, you have your 10 days off. Done deal. We understand. Yep. There is no difference between if you're vaccinated and unvaccinated, though, or whether you're not going to catch it. So one is the people that are unvaccinated have to have a daily rat test before they start their shift on site, and they have to show their boss it's negative, and wear a mask the entire time.
I'm more looking at the fucking. What about all the people who lost their fucking jobs because they weren't vaccinated? When will they get the opportunity to go back to work as long as they have a rat test every day and wear their masks? Like, so because it's alright for the police, when does it become alright for the fucking the nurse or the truck driver?
I don't think ever with the nurses. I don't think you'll ever get away with it. I think because especially when in around aged care and all that sort of stuff. But I think actually it
Well, hang on a second.
shouldn't be a mandate. It shouldn't be a mandate, but you should daily rat anyway
So
when you're working in aged care.
If I bust into an aged care fucking elderly home, start stealing shit, the police are not allowed in there unless they're fucking vaccinated.
That's right. So the police that are actually going since they've removed the mandate, the police that are unvaccinated aren't allowed to go to a disturbance call, for example, at a elderly village.
That's so fucked up, man.
Yeah.
All
so
of
if
our
you
other
read,
sorry, all of our other units are out at the moment. You're gonna have to wait 6 hours because we've only got unvaccinated officers.
well, it's only 2%. So I think it was 98% of 98 or 96% of the South Australian police force were vaccinated. So it's only 2 to 4% of police officers that were unvaccinated that hung out and stood out and waited for the mandate to end before they could return to work. But yeah, those 2 to 4% aren't allowed to go to a hospital or go on a business call, go to a hospital, or on a business call, go to an aged care facility.
Wow.
Even masked, even though they've had a negative rat test for that day, they're not allowed to go into those sort of environments.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so even still, it's still a weird situation because they've produced a negative rat. They're wearing a mask the entire time. Masks are mandatory everywhere you go anyway. Why can't they? I get it. Like, the elderly are especially vulnerable. If they catch it, the likelihood of the outcome might be death. I get it. So, yeah, protect the elderly as best you can, but there's no difference between a vaccinated and unvaccinated police officer attending a disturbance call at a retirement village or an old folks home or anything like that.
I'm still stuck with the whole inevitability thing. That the old people are vaccinated. That's it. So what? You're just gonna keep them wrapped up in that little fucking village for the rest of their fucking life because they're not vaccinated. This person over here is not vaccinated. So
yeah, and even the nurse that's looking after them could be like smacking them, and they're trying to ring the police, and they're like, "No, we can't send you anyone because they're not vaccinated." And they're like, "I don't care."
well, I don't know. I just fucking the whole situation still fucks me with that. Putin's really taken the limelight off COVID for a bit though.
Yeah, you don't see it in the news at all anymore, do you?
No, not at the moment.
Between that and Karl Stefanovic standing out in the front of the bridge during the floods.
The fuck did he do now?
Karl?
Karl Stefanovic?
Yeah, no, he was just reporting, always standing at the one bridge. Whenever you're watching the live flood things, it was always Karl standing in front of that same bridge. You know, you could see the water coming up, going down, coming up, going down. But he was it was just always Karl Stefanovic in front of that bridge with his jacket on. Not even in a suit and tie. It's like a jacket and probably trackies or something.
Oh, Karl.
Every time, like, you know, getting ready for work in the morning, every time I was turning on news, there's Karl standing in front of the river going,
sunrise.
Yeah.
No shit, man.
6
Fucking
a.m., get up, turn on the fucking telly, sunrise on, eat me cereal.
Last thing I'm going to be watching at that time of the morning is the fucking news. The news is a big bunch of dog shit, man.
Correct,
like I said before, all they want to do is fucking put it out there first. They don't even give a fuck if it's the truth anymore, man.
That's exactly right. But it's always a good way to get both sides of the argument. It's like what you said in episode 2. Look at these back references. In episode 2, when you said with the racist guy, you'd still have the conversation with him. So it's like that. I'd still listen to their point of view, albeit that I don't agree with it.
At 6 o'clock in the fucking morning, I'll speak to Hitler on my fucking terms. I don't want to wake up and be like, what's this motherfucker doing in my bedroom? Hell no. Hell no. That's just on my terms. I will sit down to a nice T-bone steak, 5 p.m., speak to Hitler.
What would you do? What would you do if you fucking just woke up and there's Hitler fucking standing at the end of your bed?
In my fucking bedroom. Tell that motherfucker to get out of my room, man.
Would you sit there and just go,
I would
what
shuffle
the
him.
fuck did I have last night?
I would shuffle him out unviolently.
Unviolently? How does one shuffle out unviolently?
Get the fuck out of my room before it turns violent.
You're talking about one of the most violent men in history.
That's the thing. He probably wasn't violent, man. He got everyone else to do his bidding, bro. He was fucking... The dude, he used to love painting and shit like that, man. He wasn't a violent dude.
He served in World War One, didn't he?
Yeah, but a lot of people did, and a lot of people just ran away.
Hmm.
They didn't actually even fire guns. They went and hid.
Do you you know that old precipice of like travel back in time to change one thing to change something in the past that would, you know, ultimately remake history and all that sort of stuff? Would you?
You couldn't go back and kill Hitler.
No. But when he was 6 years old or 5 years old, he nearly drowned and someone saved his life.
Yeah.
Would you just tell that man just to turn the other cheek?
6-year-old kid turning into Hitler. I don't know, but the thing is, if he died, someone else would fill that void, man.
Oh, yeah, we've had many that filled that void. Like fucking,
right.
You know,
it's bound to happen because people look for someone like that. So when they're looking for someone like that, someone steps up. He was a result of a time in that country when they needed someone like him, man. As sad as it is, he was good for that country at that time, man. Like they needed someone like that, dude.
Yeah, well, because they weren't in a dictatorship at that time. Actually, Hitler turned it into a dictatorship. They were crumbling. They were crumbling after World War One finished and everything like that. I believe most of the Germans actually didn't actually want to go into World War Two. I know we're like sidetracking and all that here, but I watched
shit at the moment.
I watched the doco on it, and after World War One, the political parties we want Chilly Willy. The political parties like ran Germany like shit. It was the Great Depression. There was no money, all that sort of stuff,
Right.
and then the fire broke out or something at one of the parliament houses or something like that.
Yeah.
Hitler then got his rise to power in that. But then
Like,
what like he didn't have the buy-in from the army because he had his little special squadron. So they actually got the army to kill the squad, like he killed the squadron or something like that to get the army's buy-in. And then shortly after, the official greeting of Germany was Heil Hitler.
the gale. But see, like I said, so when you go looking for something, someone fills the void, man.
Yeah,
It's
I guess.
like when you've never heard a word before in your life and you hear this word and then all of a sudden you hear that word 5 times in the first day you've heard it. Or you fucking you're looking for a fucking blue car, you won't find a blue car, but there'll be 1,000 fucking red ones. And then the next day you'll see 1,000 blue cars, man.
I just went to Family Guy and it's like, hey, can you tell me the word? What's the word? Have you heard the word? Oh, the
Bird is the word.
bird. Bird is a word.
So I went to The Simpsons. Well, Mr. Burns, I'm not easily impressed. Wow, a blue car.
I remember that too. So good.
Oh, dude, my head just goes off by itself, man. On its own little journeys, and that's okay, and that is okay.
Journeys are always okay.
That's right. It's better to go in the right direction than go in a crowd going in the wrong direction. I'd rather go by myself the right way than with 30 people going the wrong way.
So if you had to paint yourself as a picture as either a shepherd, a wolf, or a sheep, which one are you?
I would be the wolf.
Really? I'd paint you as a shepherd.
The wolf is also my favorite animal for the same reason I would pick the wolf.
I'd paint you as a shepherd because I feel like
The
you're going to be someone that's going to lead the sheep.
I don't want to lead the sheep. I want to create more fucking wolves, dude. That's the whole thing.
Wolfpack.
I don't want to lead the sheep. A real leader doesn't lead. He creates more leaders, man. He doesn't lead the people. He helps the people lead themselves.
That's right, isn't it? The whole we're having this conversation very recently, and it was if the apprentice doesn't overtake the master, then you're
That's
a
right.
shitty master.
The master didn't do his job properly, man.
Yeah, master
The
failed.
apprentice should always be better than the master one day.
Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting as well because, like, if you walk into a workplace and you got someone that like knows everything but won't share a single thing of it because he thinks that keeps his job as important. No,
Yeah.
motherfucker, you are like holding the entirety of your company back just because you're being selfish.
Well, not
Thinking
just
that's
that.
securing your job security. But if you made it that you shared all your knowledge and you had 4 or 5 people with all of that knowledge, A, everything becomes so much more easier. B, you're a lot more efficient. C, that's how you actually climb and get somewhere in a business if you want to.
Everyone fucking grows together, man. It just becomes. It's like then you can share problems, share more ideas. Like everyone grows together, man. That's why it's no different to a lot of people who are dealing with the same shit will usually gravitate towards each other, and then that's where your friend group will be. A lot of people that work in the same line of work will gravitate to each other because they can talk about shit like that. Like you're a product of your environment, man. That is the one biggest thing that I have learned in the last year or two, man. Is you are what you surround yourself with, man. 100%.
Oh, Couldn't agree more. I think the biggest growth in my professional and personal life has been in the last 3 years. 3 to 4 years.
Yep.
And I felt like I was almost held back. I was branded myself like I was stuck with a perception. So
Yep.
I broke free of that perception, had a real chance to reinvent the wheel and look at who I was or who I wanted to be, and then went down that avenue. Paid dividends for me.
Yeah, it's good. But see, just then when you said you broke free, man, I just pictured like a little testicle just popped out of a hole in someone's jock, man. Again,
Fly's eyes. Fly's eyes.
my mind just. I want to fucking write cartoons, dude. I want to fucking make a cartoon.
Just what? I think just this guy walking along with his hairy ball sack.
Just one testicle. He broke free, man. And this is his analogy. He broke free, and then doop, this little testicle fell out of the hole.
And then you hear the Saturday Lotto song going, I want to break free.
Yeah, that's right. So let's just dance into that song, man.
What, the testicles dancing to that song, just flapping
Yes.
around in the breeze?
That's what a fucking cartoon is, dude. It's got to be ridiculous. It's got to be absolutely fucking ridiculous.
That's so good.
I know.
Do it. I want that to be
I
your very
will.
fast. That's your very first cartoon.
I will. This
Is a
leads me-
testicle breaking free.
It'll be a part of it, but this leads me to the next thing: is like, where do people get this fucking fear from of doing something that they want to do? Like,
Social acceptance.
because of fuck social acceptance.
But that's what it is. That's what it is.
Socially accept that. So, but it's like they've been taught that there is this fear there for some reason. Like,
But that's exactly what it is. Social expectations is the reason that people don't risk it for the biscuit. They don't put themselves in those situations. It's like what I always teach my kids, or is don't ever let people tell you or define you to judge you on what sort of expectation you're supposed to be. Have the expectation of yourself, your own expectations, and meet those goals. If you can meet them, fuck the haters, fuck what everyone else thinks. It's just about meeting your own, where you think you are, where you see yourself, all of that sort of stuff within you. Don't ever try and judge you on someone else. You don't judge a monkey on his ability to swim, just like you don't judge a fish on his ability to climb a tree.
no. And the other thing is like not letting someone else's fears be projected onto you, because like if someone says, "Oh, you shouldn't do that because that like they think you can't do it," no, you can't fucking do it. I can fucking do it. That's like I don't have. Again, I've lost. I don't know where the fuck I've lost it, but people can't tell me not to do something. Like,
No, it makes you more determined to do it.
it does. It fucking does.
That's because you're a fucking arrogant and stubborn prick, but
Well, it's like you shouldn't do that because they want to play safe for whatever reason. I don't have that anymore, man.
do you know what the coolest thing was? You and I sat down, it was last week before, and we're actually reminiscing about old days. So this is actually the second time that Gavin and I have actually made a radio station,
That's right.
or put ourselves out there. And
Channel.
the other time was in Year 6 at school, and we called ourselves the Navig and Wu-Tam Show, and that's just our names backwards.
Navig almost is like nig, and that's a racist word.
Only if you extend it past that. But it's funny, like, you know, full 360, 30 years later, or 28 years later, here we are. We're putting ourselves out there. We're jumping onto things that most people don't actually think is possible, or just won't ever put themselves in the situation to do so. I owe it all to actually my son. he started streaming on Twitch, and you know, I wanted to teach him stuff, so I jumped onto Twitch and I started streaming, and then I put my face out there, started getting some followers and things like that, and you know, that social anxiety, I guess, of putting yourself into a situation where you feel uncomfortable pretty much disappeared within the first few days.
It is the best way to overcome your fears, is to throw yourself straight in the fucking deep end.
If you've ever got a fear of public speaking, then streaming is the best way to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because you're literally live to the world. At any particular point, anyone can come in. You get Barack Obama streaming, like jumping on Twitch and just jumping into your channel and going, "Oh, hello there." It literally has unlimited potential to hit anyone and anywhere. Australia in the market when it comes to online, because everyone assimilates Twitch with just gaming and stuff like that, but it's not. There's cooking shows, there's DJs, there's music and all this sort of stuff as well. So you can literally be who you want to be, do what you want to do.
Via your own little video channel.
And exactly, and if someone like enjoys it with you, then you can talk to someone while you're doing it. Like, you'd just be sitting at home doing this shit by yourself. People colour in while talking to people.
I was cooking a roast pork in the background while I was playing Call of Duty, man, and I still remember that. That was so good, and I'm going to do it again.
I think that's the biggest thing about taking risks, is you never know actually how good something is if you've never been a risk taker, or you're worried about what someone thought about you. That's right. Or what you think that someone thought about you. Who really cares?
Their thoughts don't pay your fucking bills. They don't fucking
I'm pretty sure streaming and stuff doesn't pay our bills, nor does this podcast. But we do it for the love of it, and we do it because we want to do it.
The point is that their negative thoughts and opinions don't pay your fucking bills. They don't fucking put the food on your table and shit.
Oh, yeah. I get you.
Why would you give them validation when they don't give you anything in your fucking life? Like,
and if anyone tells you you shouldn't, couldn't, or won't do it, then fuck them off. Because at the end of the day, if anyone's sitting there telling you shouldn't do something, can't do something, unless it's your parents and you're fucking 12 or 14, then you listen. But other than that, you don't need them.
No, it's just the whole playing safe thing. You're going to do that for the rest of your fucking life. Like, I'm just going to do this and follow this, and what are you gonna? That's not living. That's fucking surviving. Like,
you're on the earth for a maximum of 100 years. If you look at Earth in here,
I want to be here longer than that, man.
You're a cyborg. If you look in totality, the world's 100 million years old. That doesn't even make you a blip or a blink of its fucking eyeball.
No.
What makes you special and what you enjoy is just jumping out and fucking living the one life, the one crack that you've got. Unless you believe in reincarnation, and if so, then you get to try multiple different things.
I actually do believe in reincarnation.
Do you?
Yep.
I've seen some shit, but I've seen some shit on YouTube.
Energy cannot be recreated or destroyed, man. Like, it's
correct.
It's a thing. So
correct.
When
it gets transferred from one thing to another.
That's right. When you die, your energy goes back in the fucking ground, and then whatever fucking eats the fucking energy as it's come out the ground, it grew into a plant, something eats that energy, and the energy just keeps fucking flowing around all over the place, man. 100%. That's what I believe.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this wraps up another one of our fucking glorified chats with you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. As always, be good to yourselves and each other.
It's always a fucking good day to be alive.
It's always a good day to be alive. Fucking Roger, goodbye. See you next month.